It's time for the Jesse T Show on a Saturday affair here in Southern California. Good to be back with you. We're broadcasting live from Burbank, California here on Magnolia Boulevard at a place called Dark Deliciosaries. Deliciosaries? Dark Deliciosaries? Or is that Dark Deliciosaries? Dark Delicacies. Yes, thank you very much. I can read English. Yes, I can read all kinds of languages. I just can't read them too well. Good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is on duty. Jesse T with you. We're here for a very specific reason. Some of the cast members of the great movie done way back in 1990 are having a little reunion here at Dark Delicacies here in Burbank, and a little question and answer section with about 5 or 6 of the cast members and the director here of Lionheart. Remember the movie Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Well, here today, started at about 4 o'clock, we just arrived. We have Director Sheldon Littich, also Harrison Page, Paco Prieto, Jeff Langton, and Michel Qussi are all here answering questions. It's a pretty packed house in there. We did walk in, put our nose in there, kind of see what was going on. I wanted to step out and introduce you guys to the show and what we're doing today. We're kind of hanging out here, going to interview the director as well as some of the stars of Lionheart. Remember Lionheart? Remember that one scene where Jean-Claude Van Damme is in prison and he comes up and he has a fight with a character named Sonny? Well, that was played by Jeff Langton, and Sonny said, "You're so pretty, I don't know whether to fight you or you. You know what I mean, right?" Yeah, so he's here. We're going to interview him and a couple of the other notables that were here in the motion picture Lionheart. Can you believe it, though? What has that been? 1990? So that's over 30, almost 30 years ago. So it'll be a lot of fun to see what the guys have been up to and what they've been doing over the last 30 years. But they're giving a little question and answer session inside. We're going to go in there and let it run for a few minutes and then shut it down. And when the festivities here are over with, I'm sure we'll be hooking back up and getting it back on here and talking to the director as well as some of the actors in the movie Lionheart. Here in Burbank, California, broadcasting live on the Jesse T Show. You never know where we're going to show up, but it's good to have you along with us. So we're going to kind of keep the cameras rolling and walk on in there. I'll change the view. 3512 Dark Delicacies here in Burbank. And it's going to go on for about another hour or so. So come on down. Lionheart right here at Dark Delicacies. Director Sheldon Littich, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Harrison Page, Paco Prieto, Jeff Langton, and Michel Qussi are all here talking and answering questions of the crowd and the fans. All right, so we're going to head on in there and let the cameras roll. Here we go. Let's kind of adjust this around a little bit. Right here, and here we go.
Was doing our casting of actors. And then we had our fight choreographers. Michel Qussi is going to be here soon. And we also had this guy, Frank Dukes, who Bloodsport is allegedly about. And so Frank and Michel were the fight choreographers. And we did auditions at Frank's dojo. He had a dojo in North Hollywood, not that far from here. And they had an open call for fighters who want to be in a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. By now, people had seen Bloodsport. So this was kind of a cool thing to be a fighter in the Van Damme movie. And we had a sign-in sheet. And we had over 1,000 fighters that day. And Frank and Michel would kind of take them to the paces to see if they really knew how to fight. A lot of them were pretty much full of it. Didn't know what the hell they were doing. But we found a number of good ones, and among them, because I'd never met this guy before, Paco. I've never met Stuart Wilson. I've never met Jeff. We'd met before. Oh, okay. But Frank is the one who brought Jeff in.
Right.
And we liked Jeff, so we ended up casting him as one of the fighters. So that was how we assembled our fighters, and we had quite a few people that were really good. And one thing I wanted was for all of them to be very distinctive, so that we wouldn't confuse the guy who fights in the pool with the guy who fights in the garage. We wanted them to have a completely different look, different persona, different fighting style. I think that worked out pretty well. People basically, nobody gets the fighters mixed up in Lionheart. Just like in Bloodsport, you don't really get the fighters mixed up.
Well, we have so many fighters. We'll start with Harrison really quick, talking about the co-stars, and you're really kind of like a heart of this, like the whole Lionheart. Like you're like the heart of this movie. You name him. You're this great kind of mentor / kind of brother to him. Kind of tell us how you got involved with the film and kind of what was on the page and what did you bring to it.
Let me just tell you how we cast Harrison.
All right.
Okay.
Everybody wants to tell how I was cast.
I love this one. We've got all these actors coming in to read for the role of Joshua, and they're all sitting in their chairs. They're reading their lines, and there's one guy sitting on the floor, like basically like some homeless guy who just wandered in, and looking down and like, is this one of our prospective actors? Is this just some guy who wandered in? And that was Harrison was just getting in the character. He was getting in the character, and he gave us this this amazing reading. And one thing I remember about, and I taped all these auditions, and he does this in the movie too. He says, "You got a lot of heart, Lionheart," and he did that in the audition. And John, Claude, and I just went wild over that. We were saying basically, yeah, that's the guy. So that's how Harrison got cast. And these other guys I told you about. And Deborah Renard got, who was, Jim, there was a kind of a famous soap opera actress that was also.
There were several actresses that you did not meet.
Okay.
Before, because I had to pre-read everybody.
Right.
Okay, because Sunil or Ash wanted them pre-read.
Uh-huh.
So you saw Heather Locklear.
I saw Heather, right.
Heather, but you didn't see Sandra Bullock.
No.
You didn't see, there were a couple of others that you didn't see because they felt that they weren't strong enough.
Whoa.
Because they wanted real actors because of Jean-Claude.
Right.
Because Jean-Claude, great fighter, not great actor. He's a sweet man.
Although, this is the film that ups his game, because prior to Lionheart, Jean-Claude really was, and I don't mean for this to sound disparaging, but he was basically another Olivier Gruner.
Yeah.
He was just a guy who he can kick, he can punch, he looks really good, he's got muscles, but he's no actor. Well, what Jim brought to the table here, and this shows how a casting director can be really important. Jim made sure that we surrounded him with good actors, like Harrison, like Deborah Renard, and everybody else was in that movie.
Deborah Renard walked in and she was just pure sex.
Really?
Yeah, she just walked in, she was pure sex. She was very dressed, very sexy.
Right.
Which of course,
But very strong also. Hey,
yes.
Deborah, hi.
So she was hot.
She still is. And there was, if we can get a screening together here of Lionheart, and we did one, Uvian and I did one in Texas, in Austin, at what's it called, the
Alamo Draft House.
Huh?
Alamo
Draft House. And there was a print, a 35mm print that they got from the Motion Picture Academy. So, what the hell is a 35mm print of Lionheart? So we want to do that here in LA. And if we do that, then I'll probably get. Deborah lives in New York now. It'd be cool to see to see Deborah. It's not just a bunch of guys, the way we usually do it. The little girl who played Nicole, Ashley Johnson, she's become kind of a big deal. She's in I know she's in the Avengers. She played Mel Gibson's daughter in What Women Want. She's been working. She played Annie a couple times, I think, because actually people would laugh about that when they saw the movie because she looked so much like Little Orphan Annie, and she actually ended up being in a TV version of Annie. But now she's doing. You look up Ashley Johnson. She's doing all kinds of stuff.
You want to know who didn't get cast? Scarlett Johansson.
What?
And Natalie Portman.
No.
Oh no, really? Really? This is
All right, it all comes out now.
behind the scenes, huh? Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Didn't get cast. Those are the two who didn't come in.
Oh man, they didn't even come in.
They were there for the pre-read. Ash didn't like them. Out they went.
Okay. Well, we did
They
pretty
did
good with
well
Ashley.
as child actors.
What's that?
They did very well because Ashley Johnson didn't have a big resume,
Right.
but she won you over.
Right. Yes, she did. Yeah, she was great. All right, a couple other friends. Hey, Ernie.
Yeah, but she only
Hey, Larry.
as a whole kid.
Jim. So I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad you're here to clear this stuff up 30 years later.
Harrison, do you remember it like that, where you act like a homeless man in the room?
Are you going to continue to talk, or you want?
Oh, no, you know what?
We're good friends. Don't worry, guys.
Let's hear from you for a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
How was your process? I mean, did you read the script right away, connected to it, or just had your take on the character right away, or?
No, I read the script, I made some decisions from the script, and I had to. The thing about acting is, the actor has the power. He has the control. It's how he wants to do it, based upon his own experience in life. And when I read the script, I saw this guy. I saw him. I saw how he was dressed. I saw my father. My father was a musician in New York in the 40s, and he stuttered. And he played piano and he sang, but he stuttered when he talked. So I got that from him. Hey, son, don't, now.
You notice
A word. He never actually made sense.
But you understood him.
Huh?
But you understood
But
him.
I understood
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Most people did. What'd you say? So I got that from him, and it was, I kind of came in with a kind of rhythm for it, and I had to play this street urchin, and street urchins are always going someplace laying down. They always lay down. So you see them in the street, they're on the sidewalk, or they're in the stores or wherever, and they're laying on the floor. So I said, yeah, let me get this thing. And when he was talking about my laying on the floor, I was laying on the floor because I wanted to get that feeling of being homeless. He was also a really fast talker. These guys, having spent time around them, they talk fast because they want something. They're trying to get something from you. They're soliciting all the time. So I had to come up with that. I also had to come up with something a little bit more, and that was the humor and the vulnerability of the character. He was a street guy, but deep down inside of him was a real emotional human being. And I had to bring all that with me when I went into the reading. So I did that, and I guess those guys liked it, and that's how I got the role. I also did something very strange because my wife was like, "What are you doing?" and she also, I was talking to myself a lot, which is I still do that. And I was as I was going out the door, I was the character going out the door. I had on this kind of Columbo raincoat and a hat, and I walked out the front door, and I saw the dirt outside my house, and I said, "Oh yeah, hey, my fingers are too clean.
Play some piano.
Yeah. Put my fingers in the dirt out there, and got stuff on my fingers, so I felt grimy. But one of the things I got when I stuck my hand in the dirt was cat shit. I don't know whether they smelled it or
Did
not.
I shake hands with you that day?
No. I didn't shake hands with anyone. But I got cat shit in my hands. I said, well, okay, fine. And I went in with that. And that's how I got the part. And it's not just, you know.
It was good luck.
Yes.
Huh?
The shit was good luck.
Yeah, good luck. It's good luck. It's good luck. He said good luck. And that's what I did. I went in there with that, and it worked out for me. And I just also I had to decide about the relationship with Van Damme. Van Damme is intense and, you know, to a degree intimidating, or he tries to be, and he doesn't do a whole lot. He's quiet and introspective. Well, I couldn't be the same as him, because that's not good. You have to be opposites in order to make the chemistry work. So I said, okay, then I got to do the talking, and I did a lot of talking. I mean, even when it wasn't in the script, I was talking. and we had one scene.
And Jean-Claude himself is the talker.
In
Jean-Claude will, in real life, he will talk up a storm and not let people get in their 2 cents worth. But here we were trying to keep his dialogue to a minimum simply because he wasn't known as a thespian. He wasn't somebody who performed Shakespeare in the park. So I kept his dialogue simple, but it also worked for that character. This was not a talkative character, so basically Harrison was able to fill in the quiet spaces.
Yeah, even to the point where, you know, I did a lot of improvisation. I mean, I just
did a lot of
stopped.
improv there.
Yeah. And I remember the scene where we at the lunch camp,
Right.
fast food place, and I'm talking like crazy. You know, saying, hey man, you ain't that. You ain't that. It's not in the script.
So we're going to be back in just a little bit here as the question and answer session goes on with the movie Lionheart. Jesse T reported live to you, my friends. Hook you back up, talk some of the stars next up here on the Jesse T Show. See ya.